Welcome to the video review slash comparison, I guess. Today I wanted to talk about this guy. It's the new GMT Pepsi ceramic on the Jubilee bracelet, and is new from bezel 2018. And it created a lot of demand for this new reimagined or realized Pepsi. Then I want to compare it to the Tudor, because I think it's fun and interesting. Clearly this watch needs no introduction. Everybody's well aware of its presence. Amazing to see it again with this Jubilee bracelet. I particularly like this. Some people don't, but I'm a big fan of it. And combined with the Oyster Clasp, I think is amazing. It's super comfortable, and it definitely helps this watch become a classic. This clasp, as you can see, has the Easy Link, which you can shorten and lengthen just pretty much with one hand if you want when you have it on. But it just makes it that much easier to wear in hot days, or just kind of find it, give it extra slag if you want, if you find it too tight. So that's for the bracelet. The bracelet now, they obviously come with solid center links, and the bad thing about the Jubilee bracelet used to be that after a few years of use, the center links which were hollow, would just stretch and give this kind of nasty, horrible, stretchy look to the bracelet. These bracelets now, these new ones now coming in with solid center links, I think they're going to last for a very, very long time, just as much as the Oyster bracelets. So let's talk a little bit about why this watch is so unique. Obviously, the ceramic bezel sets it apart from a lot of other watches, but especially the red is the difficult color to do with this ceramic bezels. And you can see that, I'm not sure in this light if it's been captured properly. I hope so. But the red, depending on the light, depends how the light shines on it. The red looks a little bit more pink than you would like, but not always. And on camera, I think it looks worse. I think in real life is more red than the camera makes out of it. So it's an interesting one, because I think Rolex had a real struggle to get this red looking right on ceramic bezels. But they've done it, and here it is. Obviously, if we compare this, and there's a good time to compare with the previous GMT, you can see the red on the aluminium bezels maybe is a little bit more red. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Let's continue with this one for now. Obviously, new movement. Now it comes with a 70 hour power reserve, which is very nice. And same case did not change as far as I'm aware. And I think there's been some changes on the movement as well. Some other changes that improved the performance of the movement to the point that now Rolex watches are above the COSC certification. I think the COSC is +3 and -5 or something like that seconds a day, whereas Rolex now has its own certification and is more strict than that of the COSC, and is 2 +2 and -2 seconds. So this watch is fairly brand new, pretty much brand new. Still has some stickers on it. But I was fortunate enough to get one, thanks to my authorized dealer. And there seemed like something to say about these watches, that there's a lot of speculation around them. There's a lot of people trying to make a lot of money with them, and I don't know. I mean, if you're really desperate for one, get it, I guess, but I would not advise anyone to spend £15,000 or $20,000 just to get one. You know, try to get one through your authorized dealer. I think you'll be happy for it. This case comes with a red hand, whereas the old GMT, not the old, but the previous version of the GMT with the black ceramic bezel, came with a green hand. So I don't know, I quite like green. I'm a big fan of green, but I have to say, with the red bezel here, the red hand works very well. So everybody's got different tastes, I suppose. So the watch is amazing. It's very comfortable, but to be honest, it's not that different from this. Sorry, it's not that different from this. And so we can see comparisons here. The case is the same. However, the movement is different. The old one has a 42-hour reserve, and it doesn't have the latest upgrades that this movement has, making it less accurate and less efficient. So obviously the new Pepsi comes with significant improvements inside the watch. So it's not just all cosmetics, and a lot of people could say, oh, it's just the bezel, but you know, it's why is it so different from a Batman from, I don't know, 2012? Well, there's some differences there. In terms of the case, it's the same case. So it does have a similarity in terms of comfort, but I'll tell you what, the Jubilee bracelet is, I feel, is more comfortable in hot weather. And there is one simple fact to this, and I'll try to show you. You can see these little holes in the bracelet. They create some space for your skin to breathe. And believe it or not, that makes it much more comfortable in hot weather when it's really humid and you get really sweaty. So something to think about. It's not the end of the world. It's not like the Oyster bracelets aren't comfortable, but that's something I've noticed with the Jubilee. So something to think about. Now, how does it compare to the old GMT from 2003? Well, the GMT has grown in size and weight, and that's obvious. Like, you just need to pick them up. And when you put them on as well, the old GMT feels lighter, feels smaller, feels more vintage. It does, really. And I don't know if I agree with the philosophy that Rolex have taken of oversizing their watches now and make them larger, and like, well, just look at the lugs of the case. You know, it's just everything's getting bigger, and I wish they kept the proportions, but I guess I have to move on with the times as well. Obviously, these bezels are now ceramic. They're not aluminum anymore. So the advantage they have versus the old ones is that they won't fade with the light. UV light eventually makes these things fade away, or the general friction and rubbing of things on them will eventually get this paint off and, you know, make them fade. So this is something you see with the old GMTs that have been used a lot. You don't see it, or you won't see it with the ceramics. They, in principle, they will preserve their color forever, or until they break. A clear advancement on these new watches is the clasps. I mean, you just have to see the level of engineering that has gone into it But the last 10 years, I remember Rolex upgraded the clasps for all their watches, and you know, this flimsy piece of metal here, which serves its function, right? I never seen one breaking, but you know, when you compare that to this clasp, and you know, you can tell that this is a superior piece of engineering, and to be honest, this is what you would expect to see from a brand like Rolex. So no disappointment there. And I'll tell you something though, I still love my old GMT, and I wear it a lot. And now it's been pushed aside a little bit by the new guy, but I love it so much, and I don't think I'll sell my old GMT, because it just reminds me of, you know, when I was much younger, and well, things were a bit simpler. And let me compare, as I promised, these two guys now, because the Tudor, obviously this is a diver's watch, and this isn't a diver's watch, but it's inspired on the same design approximately. And by that I mean that you have a 3-hand watch. In the case of the Tudor, this is one of the earlier versions with the ETA movement inside. It didn't have a date, which I like. It's very clean. But it's inspired in the same dial, inspired in the same configuration, and a similar case, with the difference that the case in the Tudor don't have the crown guards. And do I like the crown guards on the Rolex? I do like them. I mean, they make the case look modern, more rugged. But there's something about no crown guard, sorry, that makes this case look like such a throwback, you know, like it's a modern design. It's a modern watch with an old touch. So I wish that maybe Rolex had kept some sports models without the crown guards. I don't know. I guess they had to make a decision, but you know, unfortunately I don't have any Rolexes here without crown guards, but wouldn't be cool. In terms of the overall quality, the Tudor is nice, but nothing compared to the Rolex. In every part and every joint, you can see the level of finish on the Rolex is superior. And so, looking at the clasp itself, I can see, for instance, something that I always look at is how when I'll try to show you when I close the clasp, see that the two parts on these two parts don't actually fold inside each other. They just sit on top of each other and they just stay like that. So it's a small detail, but compared to the Rolex, where you have a flush design, everything sits together so well. So you can see how there's like a slight space here, a small space here, where this upper part of the clasp goes into, and so it remains pretty much flushed and, you know, compact, using all the space. So it's a small thing, but to be honest, these watches, for the money, they are pretty good. I think you'll be hard pressed to find something else in the market for this money, and that's what Tudor are doing. They're just offering a similar approach to Rolex without the Rolex finish and without the Rolex name, and give you something pretty good. So here we go. That is my comparison / review, if you can call it like that. I don't think it's a proper review. There's people out there doing much more professional reviews than mine, but let me just focus this correctly. But if you enjoy watches, I hope that you enjoy this video and that you have had the chance to see something that is a bit different from other reviews. a comparison between a number of models that share some similarities, that share some heritage, that share some history, and then a fun comparison, why not, with another brand, but that is a sister brand to Rolex. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you much for tuning in. Thank you.